Hey, what is going on, everybody? We are back in the building. Alrighty, this is gonna be chess lesson number 1. I'm gonna try to do about 5 lessons, just to get everybody jump started, and so that people can learn the fundamentals of chess. So it can be something you can probably do in your pastime or things of that nature. Okay. I just want to give a little back history on me and playing chess. I learned how to play chess when I was incarcerated. You know, I used to sit back and watch people play chess, and it was just fun, man, just to see them go at it. And I knew that it was a game of wits, that you had to really think. It was a strategy game, and I wanted to partake in it. So I sat down. Well, actually, I just watched them, and I learned what all the pieces do. And I say, that's easy. So I jumped on the board. I got my butt beat. Man, I probably got my butt beat like 10, 15 times. And then, so what I did was I took the board into my cell when I was locked up. And I started to make moves against myself. So I took it slow. And it was one guy, he was the best guy in the pod with us when we were locked up. He actually had a bullet in his head, and I was like, why you ain't let them take the bullet out your head? He was like, I guess he would die if they took the bullet out or something like that. But he was very, very good in chess. He was like one of the best ones. He moved very fast. He's very intimidating. And one day I finally beat him, and I got the courage, to continue to play, man. And my game just kind of got really sharp. So you're never too old to learn new things, and my piece of advice that I would give you about chess is take your time with it. Take your time. So we're going to go slow, and we're going to do about 5 lessons. And hopefully by the end of the 5th lesson, you guys can know how to play chess, man. And everything from there will be trial and error. You have to play good people in order to get better. Okay? Yo, yes, this is the beginning of the live if you're just not coming in. What we're going to talk about in this live is placement and movement. Placement and movement. Now, I got a pretty big size chessboard because I like to see my movement. I don't like the real scrunched up chess games and stuff like that. And when you get a chessboard, you're going to have 16 pieces per side. 16 on this side. You're going to have 16 on this side. You're going to have an additional queen on each side. So you just put that to the side. Why is there an additional queen? Because once your pawn gets to the end, it can become a queen. Okay? But we'll get to that later. Like I said, we're going to take our time with this. First, we're going to talk about placement. Where do you put your pieces when you get ready to start the game? Well, I'll show you real quick. Let me show you the easiest way to know where to put your pieces in the beginning of a game. This is what you want to do when you go to any board. You got 1. I spilled some wax earlier. I had to wipe that out. Okay. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 on this end. 3 on that end. And what's that? That leaves you with what? 2 in the middle. Same thing on the other side. You say 3, okay. 3. Then you got 2 in the middle. What's the 2 in the middle? The 2 in the middle is going to be your king and queen space. Okay. Now, if you have the black pieces, your queen will go on that color in the middle. So let's go on this end then. Let's go over here. 3, 3, 2 in the middle, queen goes on this color, king goes right next to it. There you go. And this is how you do your placement. 3, 3. So in the middle, it leaves you with 2. Queen goes on its color, black. And then right next to it will go the king. Okay? Now, you may be like, well, Chosen, where do I put the next piece? Well, let's figure out what the next piece is first. This is your queen. This is your king. Okay? Anybody know what this piece is right here? You can put it in the chat. Anybody know what this piece is here? Put it in the chat. I know we probably got some experienced chess players in here, so we're going to help everybody else catch up. Slowly but surely. Amen. Amen. That is the bishop. This is the bishop. Now, when you're placing your pieces on the board, understand that next to the king and queen, if you're thinking in a religious aspect, they always have the bishop right next to them. Well, yeah. Here we go. That's 1, 2. There you go. And then if you think about what's next, what do I put next? Well, the bishop needs something to ride on, right? Okay. Anybody know what this piece is? Amen. It's the knight. So you position your knight on both sides. All right. Last but not least, anybody know what this piece is? Madison said the horse. That's all right, Madison. This is the rook. That's right, King Cam, the rook. Some people say the castle, you know. Okay, so now you got all your pieces in the back. Now let's go through that one more time. 3 right here. 3 over here leaves you with 2 in the middle. You put the queen on her color, just like the queen is on her color over here, straight across from it. And then you put the king right next to it. If you think in a religious sense, you got the enforcing bishops right beside your 2 power pieces. You got to give them a horse so they can get to the castle. There you go. And outside of it, you just line your pawns up. These are pawns for those who just now playing chess. These are pawns. Okay? And right across from it will be the same identical setup. Okay, so now we're going to focus on, yeah, everything can be used for protection, Gail. Everything can be used for protection, okay? Now we're going to talk about movement. This is placement. Now we're going to talk about movement, okay? The pawns. A pawn can only make forward movement. It cannot transition and come back. It only makes forward progression. Every other piece can make a backward movement at some point in the game. Pawns keep moving forward, okay? So you got your pawns here. On the pawn's first move, it can move 2 spaces forward. Only on the first move can the pawn move 2 spaces forward. Every move after that has to be 1, okay? So if you see somebody come out the game like this, count it not strange, because you can move 2 spaces with a pawn on your first move with your pawn. Now, am I talking about the first move of the whole game? No, I'm talking about the first move of any pawn. Like my next move could be 2 up with this pawn, but every other move after that has to be 1. Now I could choose to just do 1 with the pawn. You don't have to necessarily jump out with 2 with the pawn. You can come out with 1 with the pawn, okay? What about the movement of the rook or the castle? The rook or the castle's movement anywhere in the line of a cross, it can go. So let me take all this off the board right here. Let me take this off. The mobility of a rook is like this, anywhere in this parameter. So say I'm here. My range of motion with my rook will be in this line, this way, down here, over here. The rook makes kind of like it's like a T motion, if you would say, T motion, okay? Let's go with the bishop. The bishop does diagonal moves. You see? Diagonal. Let's say the pawn is moved right here. The bishop goes diagonal. And it can land anywhere on this diagonal plane. Now, a bishop can't do this. It can't do that. It can't make a forward progression. It can only make diagonal moves on the same color that it started from. The bishop is a very dangerous piece, you see? It's a good piece. You can trap a lot using the bishop. Okay? The next move. Now, everybody really gets their favorite piece. You know, everybody has their different favorite piece. The horse. The horse is the only piece that can kind of jump over pieces, if you would say. But let me show you the horse's range of motion before we talk about jumping over anything. The horse always goes in the L motion. So certain pieces can only move a certain... Yeah, that's right, Brittany. Certain pieces can only move a certain way. Okay? Now, we're talking about the motion of the horse right now. The horse goes in the L shape 3 spots. So 1, 2, 3. That would be a move for the horse. 1, 2, 3. That would be a move for the horse. I'm going to do a couple of them until you kind of get it in your mental about the move of the horse. Now, let's say I want to move right here. I'm allowed to jump over the pieces with the horse. Yes, the horse can make backward movement. Like if I'm right here with the horse, I can come back here. All these pieces can make backward movement except for the pawns. The pawns have to continue their progression forward. The pawns have to continue their progression forward. Okay? I'm going to do some more motions with the horse, and then we'll go to the queen. I just want you to see the motion of the horse so you can get it down pat. Okay. Okay, everybody kind of got the motion of the horse? Or do y'all need me to do some more? If you see, it's only making an L every time. Okay. All right. Now, let's go with one of my favorite pieces. The queen. Now, let's say the queen is here. The queen's range of motion is very interesting because the queen can do what this piece do. The queen can do what this piece do. The queen can move up just like the pawn can. But what the queen can't duplicate is what the horse do. The queen can't duplicate and jump all the way over here like the horse. But let me show you. The queen can duplicate this by going all the way up. And all the way to the left, all the way to the right. And anywhere in this parameter, it can stop. Okay? It can duplicate the bishop because it can go diagonal. Either one, it can choose to go up, this way, that way, diagonal. Good little range of motion on the queen. That's why I like the queen. Good range of motion. Okay, what about the king? The king. Wherever the king is at, its range of motion will be the box that it's in. This is its range of motion. Now let me show you. If it's here, it can move anywhere within this box. That's it. The king is kind of limited to his motion. Let's say the king is right here. This is his range of motion. Let's say the king is right here. This is his range of motion. Let's say he's over here. His range of motion then becomes okay. Now, I'm going to put it on another part of the board, and I want you to kind of examine what a range of motion would be. Just look at the board and look at where the king's range of motion would be. Can the king go here? And you could just answer in your head, yes or no. Can the king go here? Can the king go here? Can the king go here? Can it go here? Can it go here? Can it go out here? Now, if you said no to here, no to here, no to here, you're right. Yes to here, yes to here, yes to here, and no to here. This is out of his range. Okay? So now you got the king's motion. He can't do too much. Alrighty. So what I didn't want to do was put too much into every lesson. So we're just gonna do a basic placement of the pieces so I can show you how they move. We're not gonna dump too much on right now. Okay. Let's see something right quick. Okay, I want to set up my chessboard. I'm a new player. What do I put right here in the corner? Of course, everybody know the pawns go in front, but I'm a new player. What do I put right here in the corner? That's right, the rook. Amen. That's right. What's right here? Amen. The rook or the castle. This is called the rook. This is called the castle as well. What goes right next to it? That's right. Somebody said the knight. What about right here? Bishop. Now, since we got three, I told you right after three is going to come your king and queen. No matter what side you on, right after your three is going to come your king and queen. Now, if I got the black pieces, what goes on the black and what goes on the white? King or queen? What goes on the white? If I got black pieces and I'm setting my pieces up, what goes on the white, on the black side? That's right, Jules, the king. Then the queen goes on the black, because on each side, the queen is going to be on that color. 1, 2, 3 from the outside, the queen will be on that color. So here we go again. 3 from the outside, king on white, queen on that color. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. And here we go. Now, let me set up the board a little bit here. Let me move a couple of pieces around here. Okay, let's say this is the beginning and this is the last thing we're going to do. We're not going to pile too much on. We're not going to pile too much on. But let's say a couple of moves have been made and this is how the board is looking. It's the beginning of the game. Somebody came out with their horse, you know, a couple of pawns got moved. Somebody pushed their rook up. Okay. Matter of fact. Now, this castle right here. How many possible moves, if it's my go and I'm white, how many possible moves do I have with this castle? If it's my turn and I'm white, how many possible moves do I have with that castle? I'm gonna let a couple people answer it. I see a couple people already put the right answer. Hey man, whoever said 3 altogether, that is right. How many possible moves do we have? Because we can go here. We can go here. Or if we're right here, we can go there. Now, you remember when we first started, I told you that the movement of this would be from the sides and down, kind of like a cross. How you do a cross. But if this is in the way, he only has one movement here. Since there's nothing down here, he can go 2. So that's 3 possible moves that he can make. Now, remember what we said about the horse? Look at the board and tell me if this is a valid move for the horse to make, if it's black's turn. And put in the chat if that is a valid move or not. And I'm going to show you where I just went. I got the horse right here. It's my turn. And then I move here. Is that a valid move? For y'all who said no, you're definitely right, because that would take away from the 3 boom, boom, boom. I can't go there. That would be one of my move spaces. Boom, boom, boom. Can't go there. If I go boom, 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 that's too far. That's out of my range of my L shape for my horse. So if I land here, that's an incorrect move. Alrighty. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it at that. Just the bases. That is the raw bases. And if you was in here and you listen, you got about 15% of chess already down pat already. You got about 15% of chess already down pat. Amen. Anybody got any questions over what we just went over? Such a beautiful scene, man. Got the scenery going, y'all. Got that music playing. Hold on, gotta turn that up. Instrumentals. Okay, anybody got any questions on how any piece moves? He said my head is hurting already. This is too much. Amen. Oh yeah, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Yes, it is. I was watching, what I like to do is I like to turn on like waterfalls too. I like to turn on waterfalls. I know people may think I'm crazy, but like, I like to turn on waterfalls and like rivers. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just me. I just like to listen to like streams and streams of water and things of that nature. That's just me. But it's just something about water. But anybody got any questions, right? This the basis. If you got this down pat, what we just went over, you already got about 15%. Maybe even like 20% of chess. You got it. You got it. Amen, Sean Harris. There's no such thing as too much thinking. You know what they say? They say the amount of moves that you can do on the chessboard and setups that you can do equals up to the grain of sand on the seashore. Now, I don't want to discourage nobody with that. Because guess what? There's only 6 type of moves you got to remember. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Because this one, if you remember the moves of this one, it represents the moves of all of these. They got all the same move. If you remember the moves of this one, it goes for the same as this one. You remember the moves of this one, it goes for this one. This one, same over here. So really, you only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different type of moves to remember. 6 different type of moves to remember. So that should help you out, and so you won't get all like, oh man, that's so much to remember. Nah, it's just like 6 moves. 6 moves. Amen. Amen. So I'm gonna cut it right there, brothers and sisters. This is part 1. When we come back, we'll dig a little bit deeper into it. But if I was you, if you had a chessboard, just start out real slow, practicing how each piece moves. Even if you do that for a whole like 2 or 3 days straight, just practice on how each piece moves in different setups. Put the board into different setups and different positions, and practice on where you can go and where you can't go. All right, and we'll talk about defense, offense, and things of that nature in the next live, y'all. I'm telling you, by the 5th lesson, you're gonna know what you're doing. And you get better as you play better opponents, man. God bless all y'all. In Jesus Christ's mighty name.